So you're going along, you're plugging along in life, you're grinding, you're going through the school of hard knocks, and you feel good. You feel like you're working towards something, like your goals might be far off, but you can get there. And then all of a sudden, like in an instant, for some reason, maybe you don't even know what the trigger is, all of a sudden you're like, well, everything I'm doing is meaningless. And the wind is taken out of your sails. It's something that I call, at least as soon as a few hours ago when I made up the title for this, instant nihilism. Where even someone like me, who is not a nihilist at all, who sees meaning everywhere and who feels like, we've all got an intrinsic purpose, suddenly, sometimes even in the middle of doing something, I'll just be like, whoa, what is the point? My life is meaningless. What am I doing here? And I've got to imagine I'm not the only joker who this happens to. And I was thinking about it and I'm like, why does this happen? Because sometimes it comes out of nowhere. Is it just like a chemical thing, like a wave of chemicals because you ate something weird the night before? Is it just because of the position of the moon? I don't know. But as I was working it out, I thought maybe actually it's because, whether consciously or subconsciously, you begin to compare yourself with other people. And it's difficult because, especially when you're a creative person, but it could be in anything in life, you have people who inspire you, the people who have been successful and who have made a big difference in the world, the people who you want to emulate. And maybe at a certain point, all of a sudden you realize how far their accomplishments are from where you are now. And of course, there's that thing that everyone says, compare yourself with who people were. No, what is it? Don't compare yourself with where other people are today. Compare yourself with where you are yesterday. And yeah, that's true. You shouldn't be comparing yourself with other people. But I think it's just natural. You want to know, am I doing okay? You want to see, you use other people and their lives as kind of like guideposts or mile markers to know, to make sure you're making the right progress. But it's a little bit of an illusion because everyone has a different path. I've heard this many times when it comes to any kind of artist, basically. If someone wants to become an actor and become successful, the advice is there is no one path. We can't tell you exactly what to do because if you look at almost any actor's career, some of them went on a similar path, but a lot of them took these really weird divergent paths and you just don't know what's going to lead to your goal. The same with anything else, I feel like. I mean, unless your goal is to become, I don't know, something that's a bit more stable, But even then, like if you want to become a doctor, yeah, sure, the path is go to school, go to medical school and all that, blah, blah, blah. But you don't necessarily know, am I going to be able to recreate the exact path of this other person that I'm following? Probably not. You're going to have to forge your own path. The problem is, of course, that the people who are most inspiring are also like the most successful. It's like if you want to be a songwriter and you start comparing yourself to the Beatles, you're going to be really beating yourself up because they were on top of the world when they were 21. That's why I always felt a little bit better about being a novelist because so many novelists didn't really get into their prime until they were in their 40s. I'm getting there. I'm getting there fast. Of course, some of my favorite authors, like Donna Tartt, her first novel was when she was 28, so looks like I'm behind her too. Or even, like it happens with me sometimes on YouTube. I look at other YouTubers and I'm like, oh crap, that I'm so far behind. But you know what? It's like they were far behind too at one point. You can't follow their exact path. If you want to be a musician, there's no way you can follow the exact path of the Beatles or whoever your inspiration is. And it's really hard when this sudden nihilism hits you because you'll be in the middle of some huge project. It happened to me sometimes when I was writing the first draft of my novel, which I need to get back to. I need to finish writing that. But there would be times, it's this massive project, and there would be times where all of a sudden I'm like, this is a big waste of time. It's pointless. What am I doing? And now, because when you think about it, everything we do, you could make it seem pointless. You could, blow up an asteroid before it hits Earth and say, oh, it was all pointless. We're all going to die at some point. It's really just a mind game. And I think people who are successful are the ones who can kind of just throw that out of their mind and not entertain it. Because what does it get you to believe, even if it's true? Let's say it's true. Everything you do is meaningless. Where does it get you to believe that? A whole lot of nowhere, really. Where does it get you? And then I use a quantity, a whole lot of a place. I am a grammar innovator. And you know what I think part of it is that, and what I have found, I've had to like brainwash myself in a way, is in order to really pursue the things you want to, you have to, number one, just like stop caring about the meaning of it and just focus on the thing you're doing. Like, who cares about the meaning? The meaning will come and take care of itself later. If you're writing a book right now, all that matters is the sentence you're writing right now. And sometimes, I don't know, sometimes it can be good to imagine the end goal, but it's a little dangerous. Like if I'm sitting here thinking about, say, if it's a novel, if I'm sitting here thinking about getting published and being at the top of the bestseller list, that can be good and it can be good motivation, but it's dangerous because it's like if you get out of your blinders and look around at reality, you'll be like, oh, I'm nowhere near my goal. Oh, crap. But maybe that's the answer. And actually, what I do, it's not even something I do. It's just a feeling I have. And let me share it with you. Is that I feel when I'm pursuing my goals and I see these super successful people in front of me, I feel like I'm already part of them. Like I'm part of their group of successful people. And it's just I haven't made it to the party yet. That's really all it is. I'm invited, but I haven't made it there. And these people are my equals and my peers. I just haven't yet produced the proof. And that can, I don't know how I did this. I think I kind of just brainwashed myself into thinking it. And so I don't really get as intense of these spells of sudden instant nihilism. And when I do, it's easier for me to throw it out because maybe it's because I just came to a point where I was like, yeah, so what? What I do is meaningless. What they do is meaningless. That doesn't matter. When you think about it and you're like, oh, these successful people I'm looking at, what they did was meaningless too. Like, and I don't mean to harp too much on the meaninglessness. I don't mean to provoke anyone in the comments to be like, everyone has intrinsic meaning. It's like, yeah, I think that too. But there's just the feeling sometimes when you're in the middle of life that it's all pointless, regardless of reality. And to me, I think reality is that things have meaning. But when you're experiencing it, it doesn't feel like it. I think to go after your goals in life, what you've got to do is sort of brainwash yourself into thinking you're going to get there. And in some ways, you're already part of the group of people who have gotten there. You've got the ticket. You just haven't gotten on board the train yet. Because who doesn't like a nice long train ride? So there's my inspirational Spielberg for today. I hope maybe it helped you out a little bit. It was just something that's been on my mind all day, really. And I wanted to talk about it because if you're experiencing those kind of sudden bouts of meaninglessness, I think you need to just brainwash yourself out of it. So that's my advice. Advice from a guy on the internet, a rando who isn't qualified to give you advice, but he's going to do it anyway. Thanks so much for watching. Give it a like if you feel a void of meaning in your life, and give it a like if you feel everything has meaning. Thank you very much for watching. Take care.